Shotgun on the field, the 78 of Vince Quinville. Here they come off of turn number 4. Green flag is out. Bruno and Stone touch in turn number 1. Stone gets a little sideways, but Bruno drives away. He brings Chad Blair with him in the 6 down to the inside. Todd Stone looking to fight back on the outside as they come down the front, but Chad Blair holds on to that number 2 spot.
Bruno leads the pack into turn 2. Great battle for that number 2 spot. Blair on the inside, Stone on the outside. Stone will now take second, dropping Blair back to third. Dupree runs in the 4th spot. Durgan looks to the inside as they come off turn 4.
They run in a pack trying to get to that number 5 spot. Durgan now looks on the outside, now going to go low down the backstretch, but he can't get around Patrick Dupree in the 24. Todd Stone now up front, sees a lane down on the inside under Mike Bruno, but he can't get there.
It's still Bruno up front, Stone in the number 2 spot. Chad Blair runs third. The battle is for that 4th and final spot to draw for the pole. Dupree has it in the 24. Durgan runs 5th. Dan Brown has the final transfer spot, but he's got to contend with Gardner Stone, who's right on his back bumper in the X1.
Todd Stone has it peaked down on the inside in turn number 2, now down the backstretch. He's got half the car there to the inside of the 22 of Mike Bruno. In turn number 3, they pulled dead even. Coming out of turn number 4, will we have a new leader? Yes, we will. Todd Stone leads it.
Stone at the line by just a nose. Bruno trying to fight back on the outside. Up the backstretch, it's still Stone and Bruno running side by side. Bruno now sticks a nose in front, but Stone comes right back on the inside. Smoke coming out of the 6 of Blair.
Chad Blair really working the right rear tire to keep his car in front of Pat Dupree in the 24. Is now Dupree smoking too in turn number 2. He can't find a way around.
Top 5 cars have pulled away from the 6th place car of Dan Brown, who's opened up a little bit of an advantage on the X1 of Gardner Stone for that 6th and final transfer spot.
Todd Stone now beginning to pull away from the Bruno's towing number 22. As this time by Todd Stone, we'll see 2 laps to go.
2 to go this time by for the G-Stone Motors 1X of Todd Stone. Mike Bruno comfortable in that number 2 spot. He's got 5 or 6 car lengths on the Blair 6, and it's another 5 or 6 back to Patrick Dupree. Durgan has that 5th spot. Doesn't look like now he's going to get the final chance to draw for the pole. 1 to go.
At the beginning of this race, it looked bad for Todd Stone. He and Bruno skipped wheels over in turn number 1, but Todd Stone did a good job to get his momentum back up and come away with heat race victory number 1. Todd Stone wins it, Mike Bruno 2nd, Chad Blair 3rd, Patrick Dupree 4th, and rounding out the top 5, the 17 of Jason Durgan, the 40 of Dan Brown.
Lined up and ready to go. Once again, top 6 will make the show. Top 4 will have a chance for the pole. Off turn 4, we're underway. Gagnon gets the jump on the inside. Wells trying to stick right with him on the outside. Good battle. 3 wide up the backstretch for the number 3 spot. Here comes Atkins on the inside. Foley tries to come through as well.
Brian Trim of the 28 got snookered way up on the high side as they boxed it up going to turn number 3, and he drop kicked toward the back of the field. Out front, it's Gagnon in the 4. Mike Wells runs 2nd in the 76. The 1 New York of Greg Atkins is 3rd. George Foley is 4th in the 34, and 5th right now, the CO2 of Craig Riel.
That's a good battle for that number 5 spot. Riel on the inside. Andy Haywood right alongside in the 80. Haywood now will move up, stick a nose in front, but Craig coming right back on the bottom of the racetrack. Gagnon has opened up distance on Mike Wells.
Leon Gagnon in the 4 beginning to check out. Battle heats up for the number 3 spot as George Foley is now all over the back bumper of Greg Atkins, but Atkins quickly closing in on the 76 of Mike Wells.
Those top 4 cars have pulled away from the 5th place car of Mike Riel. Now on the inside, here comes Flack. Keith Flack will take that 6th spot away from Andy Haywood.
Leon Gagnon in the 4 begins to check out on this field. He comes around this time and he sees halfway.
That 4 just gets stronger as the race gets longer. He pulls away from this 3-car battle for the number 2 spot. Atkins on the inside, sticks a nose in front. Can Wells come back on the outside? Yes. They remain together as they come off turn 4. Now to the stripe, it's going to be Atkins to take that number 2 spot.
Foley comes right along through on the inside with Atkins. Foley now looks to challenge for the number 2 spot. He's got a little bit of a nose down to the inside. Now half the car in turn number 3. A little bit of contact as Foley backed off in turn number 3. The second spot, the 1 New York of Greg Atkins. Third, George Foley.
Andy Haywood has come back on the outside and taken that 6th and final transfer spot away from the 43 of Flack. Flack is back to the number 7 spot. Trim runs 8. Bertium is 9th. Lindemann 10th. And Kway is 11th.
2 laps to go for Leon Gagno. Started on the point. Hasn't looked back since. Foley and Atkins battle for the number 2 spot. Atkins has it right now. Foley seems content in that 3 spot. White flag is out for Leon Gagno.
Keep your eye on a battle for that 6th and final transfer spot. Greg Riel runs 5th. On the outside, it's the 80 of Haywood running 6th. Look out! Flack catches a tire in the bottom of the racetrack. Left front is broken on that car. Checkered and yellows. Gagno will be the winner. Second place will go to Atkins. Foley finishes 3rd. Mike Wells 4th. Andy Haywood 5th. And Craig Riel will get the final transfer spot.
McGrail and Roy come off of turn number 4. They get on the hammer. Green flag. Patrice McGrail has the advantage early on inside, but here comes Martin Waugh, and he powers away down the backstretch on the outside.
Waugh is your leader. McGrail settles into the number 2 spot. Don Scarborough runs 3rd. Perotti trying to find a way by in the 1P. Max Viennes runs in that 5th spot. Mike Riel in the 0-2 has the 6th and final transfer spot as they race up the backstretch.
Perotti in the 1P. As Mike Riel in the 0-2 goes around, gets collected by what looks like the B3 of Aaron Bartamy. That's who it was.
All right, ready for a restart. 1 lap complete. Martin Waugh on the inside. Patrice McGrail on the outside. Down the front stretch. Green is out. It's a good jump for Martin Waugh. He's already got a couple of car lengths on to 10. The battle heats up for the number 3 spot. Perotti on the outside will move to 3rd. Scarborough back to the number 4 spot, and the Viennes run 5th and 6th side by side.
Fast battle right now for 5th between the racing makers. Michel on the inside, Maxime on the inside, rather. Michel on the outside. They still run side to side through turn number 2 and down the backstretch. The front 4 have now run single file with Roy, McGrail, Perotti, and Scarborough.
Those cars running in the 5th and 6th spot. I've got about 4 or 5 car lengths on Matt Woodruff in the 55. He is the first car out of a transfer spot. He's being challenged by Mike Riel in the 0-2. But up front, Martin Waugh is running away.
Maxime Vienne gets around his father, Michel, secures the number 5 spot. As this time, Martin Waugh, the Gamache truck setter number 90, sees halfway.
Waugh maintains that lead. McGrail 2nd. Perotti runs in the 3rd spot in the Pierre Bertillon 1P. Don Scarborough 4th and final chance at drawing for the pole. Then we come back to the final 2 cars that would qualify right now. The Viennes 25 and 46.
Still out front and just checking out on this field. Gaining car lengths lap by lap is the 90 of Martin Waugh. Patrice McGrail has a comfortable lead over Perotti for the 2 spot. And then it's a couple car lengths back to the 11 Vermont of Don Scarborough.
Woodruff starting to close in just a bit on the 46 of Michel Viennes. Smoke coming out of the back end of the 25 as Max got a little bit too hot coming off that second corner. 2 to go for Martin Waugh.
Martin Waugh started outside row number 1 and hasn't looked back. When you have a good draw, this is what happens. As he sees the white flag this time working down the front stretch.
Martin Waugh will work the final lap. He's got a huge lead over the 10 of Pat McGrail. Perotti solidly in that 3rd spot, and Scarborough is 4th. The Viennes continue to battle for the number 5 spot. They'll both make it to the big show. Martin Waugh wins. Pat McGrail 2nd. 3rd spot to Mike Perotti. Donnie Scarborough 4th. 5th spot to Michel Viennes. And that's Max finishing in the 5th.
11 cars in qualifier number 1. Slow pace off of turn number 4 by Bisha and Varno. Now they get on the hammer as they come down the front stretch. Green flag is out.
Look out, contact heavy between the 35 of Seymour as he hopped the rear end of Justin Donor. Now he grabs a tire on the inside of turn 2. That's going to force an early caution flag in this first qualifier. Not the start the Seymours wanted. Take 2. Varno this time will have the inside, and Josh Leclerc on the outside. A little bit faster pace this time. They come off turn 4. Green flag is out. Nice jump on the outside for Josh Leclerc. He will stick his nose in front, and he will lead the pack up the backstretch. Varno settles into the number 2 spot, but how long will he have that as Justin Donor is on the move? The 1 car pulls right alongside the 11. They will battle, as well as the Archers battle for that 3rd and 4th spot.
Brian and Larry Archer, that is, battling for spot number 4. Brian right now on the inside. He has the 4th spot. But Larry looking to jump back on the outside, and Speedy had a look to the outside, backed out of it. He's going to look to split him through the middle, but he can't get there as now Curtis Seymour Jr. right on Speedy's tail, looking to come through on the inside.
Justin Donor on the inside grabs the lead down the front stretch. Josh Leclerc will try to battle right back in the 7 car, but Donor starts to pull away as they head up the backstretch. Speedy is now moved into 3rd. Seymour follows him through on the inside to take that 4th spot. And here comes the 23 of Larry Archer. He will move into 5th.
Larry Archer secures that pass down the front stretch, but Brian's not going away on the outside. He's fighting back. As that time through 1 and 2, Larry sideways again, and Brian just capitalizing on the outside, using that progressive banking to make his way back into the 5th spot.
Justin Donor continues to pull away from the 7 of Josh Leclerc, making it look easy up front. Leclerc in the number 2 spot. He's about to be challenged by the 0-3 of Speedy Brissett. Speedy has closed the gap on the 2nd place car down to just a couple of car lengths. Seymour continues to move up in that 357 as well. Donor comes off turn 4. He'll see the white flag.
Barring any difficulties, Donor's going to win this one. Right now the battle is on for 2nd. As Sir Speed looks down on the inside, takes away the 2 spot from Josh Leclerc. Leclerc tries to fight back down the backstretch into turn number 3. Will he do it on the outside? Doesn't look like it. Justin Donor wins it. Speedy Brissett 2nd, 3rd to Josh Leclerc, 4th Kurt Seymour Jr., 5th on the outside Larry Archer, 6th Brian Archer, 7th Jim Varno,
And Brusso on the outside. They pace the field. It's a little slow pace as they come off turn 4. Now they'll start to stand on it. Green flag is out. It's a good even start. Chris on the inside, Brusso on the outside. They run side by side off turn 4. Brusso now sticks a nose in front. He'll lead him up the backstretch. 3 wide already as they head into turn 3. Collins on the inside. Bobby Lavere on the far outside. He will take that number 2 spot as Collins tries to come back on the inside.
Matt Brusso leads lap number 1 as Jim Collins has the door open in front of him. He's going to drive through on the inside and take the top spot away. Chris Clark doing work, splitting cars through the middle. He gets around the brown turd. He's looking to get to the number 3 spot.
Look at Chris Lavere on the far outside, picking him up and setting him down. He is taken 2nd. He will quickly challenge the 0-2 of Jim Collins. Collins on the inside, Lavere on the outside. He'll go zooming by as they head into turn 3. Lavere is your new leader. Collins is back to 2nd. Clark runs 3rd, and here comes Donor. Rick Donor moves into the number 4 spot as they're halfway.
That brown turd has just been stuck down on the inside behind the 26 of Brusso. He now looks to move down on the inside of Brusso for the 5 spot, but he doesn't get a good run down the backstretch as now Bobby Lavere looks to the high side. Trouble in 2 as Tim LaFountain goes around.
So caution flag for the 41.
Lavere in the 4, Collins in the 0-2. Work their way off of turn number 4. Green flag is out. Even start down the front stretch. Through 1 and 2, Lavere pulls away on the inside. Drifts a little bit high, and here comes Jim Collins on the inside. Collins in the 0-2 looks to take over the top spot.
They remain together as they come off turn 4. Collins on the inside, LeVere on the outside. 2 to go.
LeVere on the outside by a bumper. Can Jim Collins come back on the inside? LeVere gets high again. Those right side tires look like they got off a little bit, but here comes Captain Thunder. Backs off in turn number 3.
Donor looks to challenge the 4 of LeVere as they see the white flag. LeVere is your leader. Donor now looks to the inside. Can he get around the 0-2 of Collins? Yes. Donor on the inside. LeVere on the outside. Side by side up the backstretch the final time. The 95 on the inside. The 4 on the outside. LeVere with a nose in front. Donor comes back on the inside. Down the stretch to the finish. Rick Donor is your winner. Chris LeVere second. Chris Clark will finish third. Jim Collins fourth. Fifth spot goes to the 20 of Jamie. Bombers start to pick it up as they come off turn 4. Joyle's got a good jump on the inside. Will we see a green? Yes. Those top 4 cars on the inside, the entire inside row, they were all ahead of the guy that started on the outside row.
Very fortunate for the inside row. They run into turn number 3. Joyle in the 58 has the lead. Looking to come up on the outside, the 75, that's the superstar, Cody Myers, looking to come through on the high side.
Mr. Cheez-It, Bill Desatel right there in the 36. He takes over that second spot. Another car to keep an eye on, Bill Joyle in the 57. He is the leader in terms of number of wins in this Bomber division in the 2010 campaign. And he moves up to the number 3 spot right alongside the 75 of the superstar.
Bill Joyle Sr. is the leader. Has led 2 laps so far, but here comes Bill Joyle Jr. through on the inside, gets around Mr. Cheez-It. He's looking to take the 2 spot as he does in turn number 3.
Now the question is, will he pass his father? Bill Joyle Sr. the leader. Bill Joyle Jr. running in the number 2 spot at the halfway point.
Battle of the Joyles up front. Senior in the 58, Junior in the 57.
I don't think he wants to pass him. He could have gone through right there. There's plenty of room on the bottom of the racetrack. Bill Joyle Sr. in command. Bill Joyle Jr. running in the number 2 spot. Mr. Cheez-It. Bill Desatel moves alongside the 57. The 45 of Laporte's on the move as well. Now Bill Joyle Jr. may say, I got to go. They are closing in from the back with a white flag on display.
Well, Bill Joyle Sr. in the 58 still has the lead. As Mr. Cheez-It, Bill Desatel all over the back bumper. Bill Joyle Sr. pulls away in turn number 3.
Can the old man hold on for 2 more laps? Senior, your leader. Junior running second. Checkered flag out. Joyle wins it. Joyle is second. Third spot goes to Mr. Cheez-It. Josh Laporte finishes 4th. Josh Dervash 5th. As your win. Here they come off turn 4. Jeanette on the inside. Does not want to fire. We're under green. The 31 car did not want to go when he said it was time to go. And he's going to go to the back of the pack. The 60 car also having problems. He is pulled to the infield. Up front, the 6 of Coro is your leader. Chad Collins in the 22 has that second spot. LeVere third, and Richner all the way up to 4th.
Chad Collins right on the back bumper of Coro in the 6. LaGrave runs 3rd. Grape Ape is 4th. Pelkey 5th. As they run through turns 3 and 4, Chad Collins looking to the high side, now inside, but Coro still has the lead.
Brian Carr running a high line in that 6 car. Now drifts high coming off turn number 2, but Collins follows him right up the track. LaGrave will pull alongside Collins as they race into turn 3. And here comes Richner in that 21 to make it a 4-car battle for the top spot.
John Michael Brissett loops it in 3 and 4. That's out of the way of the field, however. Collins in the 22 has a lane down to the inside as Coro drifts high. Grape Ape and LaGrave make contact in turn number 2. Good save by LaGrave.
It's still Caro up front. Trouble on the right front of the 21. He is pulled off the racetrack. He may have a right front tire down after the contact with the Graves 72.
Here comes Collins on the inside, trying to finally complete that pass of Cora. But here comes LaGrave, forcing a 3 wide down on the inside. He gets around Collins without a problem. Coro's the next car he's got to get around off of turn number 4.
White flag this time by Curtis. LaGrave has grabbed the lead. Caro trying to come back on the inside on the bottom of the racetrack, but it's still the 72. Up front, Collins right over the back bumper of the 6 car. He tries to get that second spot, but there is no doubt who the leader is now. Curtis LaGrave with a couple of car lengths on the 6 car. Checkered flag in the air. LaGrave is your winner. The battle for second at the line goes to Caro. Chad Collins third. Fourth spot will go to the 88D of Ed Pelkey. Fifth spot will go to the 31. 15 laps the distance. Final chance to qualify for the 100-lapper. Stone on the inside, Lindemann on the outside. They lead him off turn 4. Green is out. Gardner Stone will lead him up the backstretch the first time. Lindemann settles into that number 2 spot. Vince Quinville has moved into 3rd. Matt Woodruff holds down 4th in the 55, followed by K.A. in the 18.
Gardner Stone has the lead in the X1. Lindemann in the 3 looks down on the inside, but Stone powers away off the outside. Quinville in the 78 has the 3rd spot. The outside lane looking to move. Jim McComb in the 5 on the outside right now, and Bert Thielman in the 1 also on the outside.
The finishing order here will determine where these drivers start behind the qualified cars for the main event. And right now it's Gardner Stone up front with Lindemann and Quinville trying to close the gap. A good battle for the number 4 spot. K.A. on the inside, and now Woodruff in the 55 on the outside.
Back to the 6th spot. Bertiome in the 1, Quebec in the 0-2 of Mike Riel. Bertiome is able to get around, but can he get around the double nickel of Matt Woodruff? Let's find out. Down to the inside, he's got the lane. Let's see if he can hold it in 1. Bertiome can't get the position. Off of turn number 2 down the backstretch. Bertiome looks to the inside again. However, can't get there as Matt Woodruff holding that number 4 spot strongly.
Up front, Gardner Stone still holding off the 3 of Andy Lindemann, but Lindemann is closing that gap. It was down to a car length as they came off turn 2. Stone opens up a bit on the backstretch, but that 3 closing in on the corners.
Lindemann in the 3 had a move down on the inside off of turn number 4. Couldn't get there down the backstretch again. 1 and 2. Door opens, but he just can't power off of the 2nd and 4th turn as Gardner Stone in the X1 just powers away halfway.
Stone is your leader. Lindemann second. Quinville runs 3rd in the 78. Chris K.A. holds onto that 4th spot. He is all by himself in 4th. Then it's Matt Woodruff in the 55 trying to hold off a challenge by Pierre Berthiaume. Mike Riel runs next, followed by the 43 of Keith Flack.
1 car on the move to this point. Keith Flack in that number 43. Flack started deep in the field, and he's up to about the 7th spot right now as Berthiaume loses it in the bunker on the backstretch, but they now run wheel to wheel down the front stretch into turn number 1.
Caution flag is out as we've got Craig Orms for the Ernie's Discount Tools Modifieds. Gardner Stone, Andy Lindemann, Vince Quinville, off turn 4, back to the green. It's a good jump for Gardner Stone in the X1. He starts to pull away up the backstretch. We'll see if Lindemann can continue to close the gap in the corners. Quinville is right on the back bumper of the 3 car, and Chris K.A. right there now in the 4th spot.
Gardner Stone out front. Mike Riel looking down on the inside of the double nickel. Turn number 2, he can't get there. Pierre Berthiaume looking to go 3 wide down the backstretch. Berthiaume, the car way on the high side. He's not going to get around the double nickel. Perhaps he can make the pass to the 0-2 of Riel, and he does down the front stretch.
Berthiaume continues to challenge the 55 of Matt Woodruff, while back up front, it's still Gardner Stone with the lead. Lindemann continues to close that gap in the corners, but it does no good as Stone has more power and just drives away down the front stretch. Quinville holding onto that 3rd spot. K.A. is 4th. Those 4 have separated themselves from that fifth place battle between Berthiaume and the 55, and the 1X rather, and Matt Woodruff's 55.
Pierre Berthiaume for a minute settled down to the inside, but now he looks back up to the outside of the double nickel of Matt Woodruff. And down the front stretch again, he's just going to settle in. And he holds the 6th spot.
2 to go. It'll be 1 this time by, and Vince Quinville has moved into the number 2 spot. He drops Lindemann back to 3rd, but up front, it's still Gardner Stone with 1 lap remaining. Stone with 5 car lengths on Quinville. He closes it in the corner. Let's see up the backstretch. Stone pulls away once again. The X1 of Gardner Stone into turn 3 the final time. Checkered flag is out. Gardner Stone will win the Consi. Second place goes to Vince Quinville. Andy Lindemann gets 3rd. 4th spot to Chris K.A. and the 55 of Matt Woodruff. 15 laps the distance for the mini modifieds. Josh Leclerc on the inside, Jim Collins on the outside, down to the green flag. It's a good start. Side by side up the backstretch. They're already 3 wide coming off the second turn. Collins sticks his nose in front. Josh Leclerc trying to come back on the bottom of the racetrack. The 4 car of Chris Levere moves up on the outside. He pulls alongside Leclerc, and he'll move into second in the 4.
Jim Collins is out front in the 0-2, but the 4 of Levere is where he likes to be, up on the high side. That's where he picks off cars. The Turd on the inside, looking to take over the 3 spot as he's to the inside of Leclerc. They work off of turn number 4. The Turd is in third.
Good action in the battle for that number 4 spot. Clark in the 77, Leclerc in the 7, Seymour the 357, the 20 of LaFountain, and the 1 of Justin Donor. Those 5 cars running together in a battle for that number 4 spot. Up front, it's still Collins on the inside in the 0-2, and Chris Levere running the outside line in the 4. Side by side off turn 2 and up the backstretch.
Levere pulls even down the backstretch. Collins is on the inside. Levere sticks the nose in front. Turn number 3, off of turn number 4, Collins fights back. It's a drag race to the stripe for the leader. Dead even at the stripe.
Perhaps Levere with a nose in front. He does have a nose in front now as they come off turn 2 and headed up the backstretch. Collins coming right back on the inside on the bottom of the racetrack. Now Levere powers into turn 4. Sticks his nose in front once again, but Collins will not go away on the inside. They remain together.
Collins had the nose in front that time at the stripe. The Turd remains in third, but here comes Chris Clark. He looks to the inside but can't get there. Andrew Bordeaux in the 0-8 holds the 3 spot as now we have a new leader in the 4 of Chris Levere.
Levere leads it. Collins is second. Bordeaux and Clark battle for the number 3 spot. Justin Donor runs 5th. Here comes the captain on the inside. He wants to take that 6th spot. It'll drop Jamie LaFountain back to 7th. Curtis Seymour Jr. running in the 8th spot. Speedy Brissett runs 9th. Good battle for 10th. Josh Leclerc has it. Larry Archer wants it.
Black flag is out on the Tim LaFountain 41 as the 08 of Bordeaux and the number 1 of Justin Donor are looking for that number 3 spot. Donor looks down on the inside as Bordeaux is on the high side. They look to part the 77 of Clark as they go into turn number 3.
This could get interesting as they're coming up on a slower car. Will that 3-wide action work as they head into the turn? They come upon the 31 of Sprano. Justin Donor on the inside. Chris Clark right alongside in a battle for the number 3 spot. They're going to split a bit. 2 to the inside, 2 to the outside. Sprano in the middle. Clark comes out the best of it with that 3rd spot with Donor right there in the bottom of the racetrack running in 4th. Then it's Captain Thunder, Jamie LaFountain, and Andrew Bordeaux 3 wide for the number 7 spot.
Look out. That Turd got sideways. The 20 made contact with the 0-8 down the front stretch going into turn number 1. That got him loose and off the pace. That now settles the about 5-car battle that we had for the number 3 spot. And in that 3 spot is Chris Clark in the 77 New York.
Chris Levere is playing catch me if you can up front. He's pulled away from Jim Collins with 5 laps remaining. Collins has got a healthy lead over the battle for the number 3 spot, which features Chris Clark 77, Justin Donor's 1, and Rick Donor's 95.
Contact in turn number 2 between a couple of cars that will soon be lap cars. 37 of Dave Parent and the 33 of Jason Chris. The donors park the Clark 77, Justin and Rick, and they pull into the 3rd and 4 spots.
Keep in mind, last few weeks we've seen that 4 car have intermittent shifting problems. It's cost him a couple of victories. But right now he's running strong up front and he's maintaining his half a backstretch advantage over Jimmy Collins in the 0-2. Justin Donor has moved to 3rd. The captain has moved into the number 4 spot. 2 to go for Chris LeVere.
Heavy lap traffic up in front of Chris LeVere. He's got a sizable lead down there. Question is, will it play any factor? And so far to this point, it hasn't played any factor. Jim Collins still remains in that number 2 spot. He's got a rear view mirror full of Donor.
White flag is out this time by Chris LeVere. Appears to be home free. The battle right now is strictly for the 2nd spot. Justin Donor on the inside, Jim Collins on the outside, and Rick Donor right there as well. Those 3 cars race together for the 2nd spot. Here comes LeVere off turn 4, checkered flag in the air. Chris LeVere will win it. 2nd spot at the line is going to go to Justin Donor. Rick Donor finishes 3rd. The 0-2 of Jimmy Collins and the 77 of Chris Clark round out your top 5. Rick Donor brings the Watson Glass, number 95, home in the 3rd spot tonight. While the Eds Concrete, number 1 for Justin Donor, will settle for 2nd. It was a good battle that those 2 drivers had going on with Jimmy Collins and Chris Clark for quite a while. As LeVere checked out in that 4 and made it work tonight. In just a minute, we'll be going trackside to Robbie Knowles, where he will be chatting with the driver from Gabriel's, New York. As Chris is about ready to hop out of the number 4. We'll throw it downstairs. Rob, take it away.
Test. Thanks, Rick. We forgot to turn on the wireless box. Chris, you started 3rd, and as soon as you got the car to the outside, you started to run away, and you had a good, sizable lead throughout.
My car is the only way around is to get it to the outside. I've been having training problems, so if I stay to the outside, I'm able to hold it in gear while I drive. Tonight I was fortunate enough to have a nice green flag race, and I just got out front and ran away and hide. Go ahead. I'd like to thank my sponsors, Coros Contracting, Gregor's, Outside Groove, Evergreen Auto, Plattsburgh Ford for sponsoring tonight's race. Just my whole family, they put a lot into getting me here every week.
Well, congratulations on the victory, and good luck throughout the season.
Thank you very much.
Outside of Macomb is the 623 of Jason Bruno. Here they come off of turn number 4. Watt and Scarborough. Green flag is out. Martin Watt and the Gamache Truck Center number 90 takes the lead through turns 1 and 2 and down the backstretch. Just pulls away from the 11 of Scarborough.
Patrick Dupree tried to make a move on the inside, but got bottled up. That forced Mike Wells to the far outside. Wells lost 4 or 5 spots. Up front, Dupree. The 90 of Waugh is pulling away. Scarborough trying to hold off Foley in the 34. Blair runs in the 4th spot. Perotti now 5th.
Out front, it's Martin Waugh. He's got a big advantage right now. Patrick Dupree now challenging for the 6th spot as he looks to the outside of Greg Atkins. Atkins gets a little bit high off of turn number 2. Dupree has to get on the brakes, looks back to the inside, but now comes even. Yellow flag is out. Yellow coming over the radio.
Three laps down, 97 to go. Waugh 90. Scarborough 11. They pick it up off turn 4. We are back to the green. Scarborough settles into that number 2 spot as the 34 of Foley moves into the 3rd spot.
Craig Ormsby in the 0.
Once again, it's Waugh and Scarborough picking it up off turn 4. We are back to the green. And again, the 11 will settle into that number 2 spot as Foley moves underneath the 6 to take 3rd, and now he wants 2nd. Scarborough now on the outside, keeps his car in front, gets to the bottom of the racetrack. Foley settles to 3rd. Blair now takes a look to the outside. He will run 4th. Parati is 5th. Atkins on the outside, now 6th. The 24 of Dupree trying to move up on the inside. He is 7th. Leon Gagnon is 8th. Mike Bruno is 9th. Todd Stone rounds out the top 10.
The 1 New York of Greg Atkins still trying to find a way by Parati in the 1P. He can't do it, but he's got Patrick Dupree all down to the inside of him. Some debris flew off in 1 and 2 of the 1 New York. Not a problem as it flew up off of turn number 2. George Foley still remains all over the back bumper of the 11 Interstate Battery number 11 of Don Scarborough.
Martin Waugh in his own zip code. And it's another battle for the 2nd spot between the 11 and 34. And then Chad Blair has that 4th spot to himself. Parati is 5th. Now Dupree takes a look at the outside. Patrick Dupree up the backstretch will take that 5th spot away. Parati is back to 6th. Atkins is 7th. Gagnon is 8th. 9th spot on the inside. That's the Todd Stone car. And Bruno is back to 10th.
Todd Stone in the 1X has been trying to look to the inside of that number 4 of Gagnon again in turn number 3. He saw a lane, but Gagnon shuts the door. Todd Stone has been stuck behind the 4 of Gagnon, and he doesn't have a way around. George Foley now looking to the inside of Don Scarborough for the 2nd spot. He says it's time to go. Down the backstretch, they're dead even into turn number 3. Foley pulls ahead. Scarborough perhaps thinking about a slingshot down on the inside. Doesn't have enough. Foley now 2nd.
Scarborough back to the 3rd spot. Patrick Dupree has closed in on Chad Blair. The 24 right on the back bumper of the 6 car as they head into turn 3. They pulled away from Parati, who runs now in the 5th spot with the 1. Greg Atkins holding down 7th. And it's Gagnon, Stone, Bruno, McGrail, Durgan, the Viennes, Keith Flack, and the 40 of Dan Brown.
Martin Waugh running a lap time of 16.4. 4/10 of a second faster than the 24 of the Pistol Patrick Dupree. Those two usually the top lap times, as now Martin Waugh has worked his way into lap traffic.
Took 13 laps, but Martin Waugh has caught the back of the field. The first car to go a lap down will be the 5 of Jim McComb. Now he'll work his way around the 623 of the birthday boy, Jason Bruno. Waugh doing a masterful job on the outside, working lap traffic, continuing to open up on George Foley, who is pulled away from the 11. The battle continues to rage on for the number 4 spot between the 6 of Blair and the 24 of Dupree.
Back to the 8th and 9th battle. Todd Stone still stuck behind the 4 of Leon Gagnon. He's been looking high and low, but to no avail. This time down the backstretch, he's got to run. He looks down the inside. He takes over the 8th spot. Got his eyes next on the 1 New York of Greg Atkins, who holds the 7th spot.
Andy Lindemann goes a lap down in the 3. The next target will be the 80 of Andy Haywood and the 28 of Bryant Trim. Waugh continuing to close quickly on those 2 cars.
Patrick Dupree in the 24 completes the pass of Chad Blair in the 6. He now runs in the 4 spot. The 24 of the Pistol Patrick Dupree now has his eyes set on the 11, the Brandon Bandit, who currently holds the 3 spot.
"19 laps will be complete this time by for your leader, Martin Waugh. He drew the pole, and he has been up front every step of the way. The lead on Foley has diminished just a bit, as Waugh has had a difficult time getting by the 80 of Andy Haywood.
Leon Gagnon getting it done on the outside. He's able to get around Stone and Atkins. He now is in the 7th spot. Todd Stone looks up to the outside of Atkins. He takes the 8th spot away. Patrick Dupree now looks down to the inside of Don Scarborough, shuts the door. Jim McComb is there as a lap car, can't go down to the inside. Scarborough maintains a 3 spot for now.
Finally, Martin Waugh gets by the 80 of Haywood, who's going to try to come back on the inside, but Waugh will just drive away up the backstretch. His next target will be the 28 car of Bryant Trim.
The 1 New York of Greg Atkins just starting to go backwards as that car's really slowing down. A lot of cars getting through and around on the outside.
Atkins had a solid run going, competing with Dupree for that number 4 spot. That car may be starting to go away on him. He's lost 5 or 6 spots in the last few laps.
Best battle on the track right now for the 4 spot. Scarborough in the 11, Dupree in the 24. Scarborough's going to look down on the inside of the 623 of Jason Bruno. But here comes the 24 of the pistol, Patrick Dupree. He pins him down behind that 623, that slower car. And Don Scarborough was just stuck there as the 623 was taking up about a lane and a half.
The starter shakes the black flag at the 11 when the 623 was throwing the blocks.
623.
He's got to get out of the way.
623 has to get out of the way. He's driving slow, and he's holding up that number 11. There he goes again, taking up about 2 grooves in the corners. That can't be done. Back out front, Martin Waugh checking out on the field, but George Foley also checking out on Patrick Dupree, who runs 3rd. Martin Waugh just making his way through the field, turning lap times around 16.8. He slowed down a little bit, perhaps conserving those right side tires.
The next driver to go a lap down will be Matt Woodruff's 55. Woodruff, the next target for your leader. He completes lap number 28. They had 3 early caution flags, but solid green flag racing. Sense. We got a car in the wall. It's the Keith Flack 43. Flack in the wall off turn 4, and the caution flag is out.
Martin Waugh getting the lap traffic very early in this race.
Fire crew out to put out the fire on the Keith Flack 43. Keith quickly getting out of his car. We're ready to go back to the green. Single file restart. Martin Waugh hits the pedal and we're underway. We'll see how quickly George Foley in the 34 and Patrick Dupree can work themselves by the lap cars of Gardner Stone and Bryant Trim. Stone heads to the outside to allow the 34 and 24 to go by. Now they got to find a way around the 28.
That time, Patrick Dupree drifted a little high off of turn number 2. Foley pulled away a little bit, but Foley still trying to find a way by the 28 of Brian Trim. Patrick Dupree in the Saranac Country Store, number 24, now looks down to the inside of George Foley. Foley has him pinned on the inside. Can he get up the track? No, he can't. Dupree pinned behind the Trim 28.
And all this time, Martin Waugh has opened up a full straightaway advantage.
Martin Waugh, 0.5 of a second faster than the 34 of Foley and the 24 of Dupree as they have now gotten around the 28 of Ryan Trim.
Gardner Stone brings the X1 back to the garage area. Now we'll see if Foley and Dupree have anything for that 90 car.
Point of the black flag there towards the 623. Dan Brown was having trouble getting around him. Field boxes up coming off of turn number 4. But the story right now is Martin Waugh checking out front.
Waugh is your leader, but he is quickly going to be coming into lap traffic. He's approaching the 76 of Mike Wells and the 10 of Pat McGrail. There's a group of 7 or 8 cars, and Waugh coming upon quickly, and we'll see how he works by them, as many of those cars, Rob, running side by side.
Cars running double file in front of Martin Waugh, rather. They see the lap flag, and let's see what Martin's going to do. His mind is in a bind right now, as they are still running double file. Battle for second heats up yet again as the pistol Patrick Dupree looks to the outside of George Foley. Martin Waugh looking left, looking right, trying to find a way by, but he's really getting slowed up by those lap cars.
They try and follow Mike Wells through on the outside. 3 wide, Waugh caught on the far outside.
Martin Waugh still struggles to get by on the high side. He's now clear of 2 of those lap cars, but he's still got Mike Wells up in front of him, running double file.
Wells leading the way for Martin Waugh, showing him the way through the lap traffic. Wells pulls alongside the 26 car. We've got a couple of cars, Durgan in the 17 and the 80 of Haywood, that got together up at the top of turn 3, and the caution flag will come out.
Durgan parked at top turn number 3. Green flag is out. Martin Waugh takes it in turn 1 and 2. George Foley and Patrick Dupree get around the 3 of Andy Lindemann, but Foley gets on the binders as the 623 of Jason Bruno slowed him up down on the inside. Patrick Dupree on the hammer off of turn number 4, and can he get there? No, he can't. Foley is strong on the inside for the 2 spot.
The battle wages on for that number 2 spot. Foley on the inside. Dupree tried a shot on the outside, but for now, he's going to settle in and run in that number 3 spot. Scarborough is 4th, 5th spot. That now goes to Perotti. Perotti has moved the 1P into the number 5 spot. Todd Stone now up to 6th. Chad Blair has fallen back to 7th. Leon Gagnon runs 8th. 9th spot to Mike Bruno in the 22.
Vince Quinville's 78 is 10th. Out front right now, he's got clear sailing, as does the 34 of George Foley and the 24 of Patrick Dupree. Martin Waugh remains out front. Has about a full backstretch advantage over the 34 Foley, who's off the pace. George Foley pulls it down on the infield. Foley off the pace, and that's unfortunate for George Foley, as he was running second, fast lap times, but something wrong with that car, just unfortunate for Foley.
Now the bad luck continues once again for the Shamrock Bar and Grill number 34. Solid run going. Quinville 78. Right front goes flying off that car. Sparks shooting off down the backstretch. And we've got a yellow. 64 down, 36 remain. Back to the green. Now Martin Waugh has got to deal with his stiffest challenge yet. That's the 24 of Dupree. Dupree about a second behind as they race up the backstretch. Scarborough has followed 7 or 8 car lengths back in the 11, but he has got a comfortable advantage on the Mike Perotti 1P, who runs in the 4th spot.
Todd Stone in the 1X trying to find a way around that 1P. Now looks to the outside, perhaps trying to pin the 1P of Perotti. Todd Stone has to check up in turn number 2 as Perotti drifted a tad high. trying to get around the lap car, who is the 28 of Brian Trim.
Waugh starts to open up just a little bit on the 24. That lead extends as they come off turn 4. Perhaps Dupree saving the tires for a shot the last 10 laps. But Martin Waugh has shown no catching him tonight.
Martin Waugh, according to AMB scoring, about 0.2 of a second faster than the pistol Patrick Dupree. As we now look back to the battle, what was the battle for the 4 spot is no longer a battle, as Todd Stone zoomed by the 1P of Mike Perotti. He has the 4th spot. And now Leon Gagno looking to challenge Mike Perotti for the 5th spot.
Running in the 6th spot is the Gagno 4. Chad Blair runs 7th. 8th is Greg Atkins in the 1. Mike Bruno is 9th. 10th is the 0-2 of Riel. Then we come back to Bertiom in 11th. And the scoring has the Pat McGrail 10 running in the 12th spot. Michel Viens runs 13th. Maxim Viens is 14th. Todd Ormsby is 15th. And Jason Durkin 16th. Matt Woodruff 17th. Those are the only cars remaining on the lead lap.
Martin Waugh now just about 1/10 of a second quicker than the pistol Patrick Dupree, as he has run into some lap traffic, and that should close the gap between him and Dupree. Looking back a little bit, Don Scarborough comfortably in that number 3 spot, but I have a feeling that soon he'll have a challenge from the 1X of Todd Stone, as Stone has just pulled away completely from the 1P of Perotti, who has struggled to get around the lap car, who is the 28 of Brian Trim.
Once again, Martin Waugh running in traffic. That has allowed the 24 of Dupree to close the gap. Dupree now just a couple of car lengths behind as they come off turn 4. Almost 3 wide in front of the leader as Dan Brown was headed in the middle, trying to get around the 80 who wanted to get back to the garage area.
Leon Gagno in the 4, looks to the outside of the 1P of Mike Perotti.
Here comes Dupree on the inside. Caution flag is out.
Jason Durgan parked on the front stretch.
80 down. They'll complete 81 as they hit the start-finish line. We are back to the green. Clear sailing in front for the Martin Waugh, number 90. Will he pull away once again from Patrick Dupree? It took lap traffic for Dupree to close the gap, and he closed quickly. Here comes Todd Stone in the 1 to challenge the 11 of Scarborough. That's a good battle for the number 3 spot.
Right now, the 24 just a tad slower than the 90, according to AMB scoring. 0.2 of a second off is the number 24 of Patrick Dupree, as the 1X of Todd Stone wants to get away around that 11 of Don Scarborough. Trouble on the Todd Ormsby 26. He pulls to the infield.
Up front, it's still Martin Waugh in the 90. Patrick Dupree is 2nd, Scarborough 3rd, Stone is 4th. Leon Gagno has worked his way into the 5th spot. Mike Perotti in a battle with Mike Bruno for the number 6 spot. Pat McGrail is 8th. 9th goes to the Greg Atkins 1. And Riel and Blair battle for the 10th spot.
Looking back out front, Martin Waugh and Patrick Dupree running about 8 car lengths away from each other. Patrick Dupree, as you said a couple minutes ago, perhaps saving the tires for a late lap pass, but Todd Stone hasn't found a way by the 11 yet for the 3 spot.
Well, Dupree can't save it for much longer as the laps continue to dwindle down. 86 down, just 14 remain for Martin Waugh, now 13. He is pulled away from Dupree once again, but that battle wages on for the number 3 spot. Scarborough has it. Stone has tried inside. He's tried outside, but he's not been able to get by the 11.
Another car that's hung up. The battle for the 6th spot. Mike Bruno been trying to find a way by the 1P of Mike Perotti. Mike Bruno hasn't had any success when he looks high or low. Perotti's been pinned behind the trim 28 since about the lap 65 restart.
There'll be 10 to go this time by. Lap 90 clicks off. 10 to go for Martinois. And here he comes, closing in on that lap traffic. It may play to be a factor once again, as there's a group of about 6 or 7 cars, and they're running side by side right in front of him.
Todd Stone now says it's time to go to take the 3 spot. He looks up to the outside of Don Scarborough and says goodbye. He takes the 3 spot over. Leon Gagnon perhaps thinking he can get around that 11, throw him into the mix.
We've seen this before. Martinois following the 76 of Mike Wells through traffic. Now Waugh will look to the inside as Wells runs the outside. Trouble on the Blair 6. Chad Blair goes off the top of turn 3. Caution flag is out on Waugh, Dupree, Stone, Scarborough, Gagnon. Top 5 with 8 to go. Back to the green. It's a good jump for Waugh. He's got a huge advantage already as they hit into turn 3. Dupree, he's got 5 or 6 on Todd Stone in the 1X. And if Dupree is going to make a move, it's got to be right now.
Leon Gagnon really pushing the envelope in that number 4 as he is starting to look high atop the 11 of Don Scarborough. In turn number 1, Gagnon again looks high. Gets the left side of the car almost even, but Scarborough pulls away down the backstretch. Gagnon again having trouble getting around that number 11. 5 laps to go.
Martinois maintaining that advantage on the 24 of Pat Dupree. Todd Stone is pulled away from the 11. He is solidly into that number 3 spot. Scarborough 4th. Gagnon is 5th. Perotti holds down that 6th spot. And it's Bruno 7th, McGrail 8th. Atkins 9th. Mike Riel rounds out your top 10.
I don't think Pat Dupree has anything for him, because if Dupree had anything for Waugh, he should have used it by now. So if Dupree's waiting, he's awful late. Martinois, very strong and hit the Gamache Truck Center number 90. The former track champion. Really lighting it up tonight. 2 laps to go. Jason Durgan cuts another tire in turn number 2. The yellow flag will come out. Just what Martin did not want to see.
Here they come. 2 laps remain. Martinois hits the hammer as they come off turn 4. Back to the green. And again, the 90 just drives away from Patrick Dupree. And those 2 pull away from the Todd Stone number 1. White flag is out for Martinois.
Martinois has led every lap of this race. Starts on the pole, and he will finish in the top spot as soon as he works his way through corners 3 and 4. Coming off of 4, your winner, Martinois. Patrick Dupree 2nd, Todd Stone 3rd, Don Scarborough 4th, Leon Gagnon 5th, 6th Mike Perotti, 7th Mike Bruno, 8th Patrice McGrail, 9th the 1 New York of Greg Atkins. And
he wins the 100-lap main event tonight, takes home $2,000 first prize. And as always, we can expect another Martin shuffle as he hops out of the car. Always good for a dance on the roof. Now that he's pocketed $2,000, maybe it'll be a little longer and different dance this time. We'll have to wait and see.
Ricky's out of his car, just awaiting the Martin shuffle. Up on the roof. Let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen, Martinois. Got to get the brake on the car. We'll wait for him to take off the gloves and the helmet. Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear one more round of applause. Martin Roy, you started on the pole, and you stayed there all race. Your car seemed very fast.
Yes, very happy tonight to win the 100 lap. Thank you, Gamache, Track Center, for supporting me, and thank you, race fan, come every week. Thank you very much.
Now, one question for you. Did you know you had the car at the end to beat Patrick, or did you think perhaps he could have gotten around you?
I don't know. I put the gas and I go to victory lane.
Well, congratulations. Nice job, Martin.
Thank you very much.
Joel Sr. inside, Desatel on the outside. Green flag this time by. Here they come. We're underway. Joel Sr. gets the jump in the 58. The Cheez-It Man coming up on the outside as Nolan takes the 44 to the infield. Looks like some fluid coming out of that vehicle. There may be some on the track. We'll see if the cars get a little slippery coming off turn 4. No, track looks good. Bill Joel Sr. says it's real good.
Looks like problems on the superstar as he looks like he's going back to the pits. Back up front, Bill Joel Sr. has the lead. Mr. Cheez-It second, but Coro looking to come through on the inside. Chad Collins has the 4 spot. 5th is Laporte in the 45.
Curtis LeGrave moves alongside the Josh Laporte 45 as you can throw a blanket on those 5 cars battling for the number 2 spot behind Bill Joel Sr. Joel drifted a little bit high, but he shuts the door on Desatel.
Quickly coming up on lap car, John Michael Brissett. Mr. Cheez-It looks down on the inside, but he's not going to go anywhere there as the Brissett 14's down there. Chad Collins in the 22 pulls even down the backstretch in turn number 3. Cheez-It gets a little bit of the nose ahead, and Cheez-It holds on to the 2 spot.
All trying to run down Bill Joel Sr. Earlier in the night, he picked up his first career checkered flag in the qualifier. Now he's going to try to do it in the main event. He leads through lap 4, but he's got a host of challengers trying to come up through and grab that top spot. Collins is second. They're 3 wide into turn 3 with LeGrave moving up on the far outside. Curtis LeGrave now takes 3rd.
That outside lane just started to move down the backstretch and into turn number 3. Kurt LeGrave in the 72 followed the 22 of Chad Collins up on that high side, and they settle in the 2nd and 3rd spots.
Here comes LeGrave now looking to the inside of Collins as they come into turn 4. LeGrave sticks a nose in front. He's going to have 2nd place. Curtis to 2nd, and he'll look to the inside of Joel as they go off the turn 2.
72, Curtis LeGrave passes the 22 of Collins, but look who else is trying to come through on the inside. It's Laporte in the 45. Can Josh Laporte come through? As now we have a new leader. The 58 drifts high. The 72 of Kurt LeGrave, the leader.
Joel is going to go from 1st to 6th within a matter of about 150 yards. Curtis LeGrave opens up 5 car lengths on Josh Laporte. Here comes Josh Duravash to take a shot at the inside of Chad Collins. Those two battle for the number 3 spot.
Bill Joel throw him in the mix as he's looking down to the inside of Duravash. In turns 1 and 2, Bill Joel pulls even, gets a little sideways in turn number 2 as they run 3 wide going into turn number 3.
Joel in the bottom, Duravash in the middle, Collins on the far outside. It's a 3-car war for that 3rd spot. All trying to run down the top 2. LeGrave leads the way in the 72 with Josh Laporte 2nd. Now Collins on the outside has 3rd, but how long for now? Here comes the 57 of Bill Joel to the inside. Duravash settles into the 5th spot as Collins and Joyle continue to battle side by side.
Joyle has the third spot. Michael Brissett spins it over there in turn number 2. He's got it back rolling. We stay under green. That last time by, there were 5 to go for the 72 of Kurt LaGrave Sr. or Jr. Bill Joyle in the 57. Trying to find a way by the 45 of Josh Laporte.
Collins flattened the right side of that 22 car, coming off the 4th turn that time. Take a look at that when he comes by next time. He pounded that wall hard. Joyle on the inside will now take the 2nd spot away from Josh Laporte and try and run down the leader, Curtis LaGrave.
Hey, that 22's got a little bit of the wall on it.
Oh, he's not happy with Duravage. Nice job by Josh Duravage
Good
to
save.
hold on to the 88. 2 to go this time by. Curtis LaGrave trying to hold off Bill Joyle. Lap traffic ahead for LaGrave. I don't think it'll pose too much of a problem. They're not running side by side. LaGrave should be able to go by on the outside.
Uh-oh.
Well, maybe he'll have to go by on the inside.
Oh, he's got to split him. He'll just go through the middle, Rick.
White flag is out. Joyle still 3 or 4 car lengths behind.
Joyle right there now. 2 car lengths, 1 car length. Before you know it, he's right there. They work through 3 and 4. Curtis LaGrave in the 72, Bill Joyle in the 57. He comes high, he smacks the wall off turn number 4, but he gets the win. Bill Joyle 2nd, 3rd to Josh Laporte, 4th to Chad Collins. Rounding out the top 5, the 88 of Josh Duravage.
5-2-3. 4-1-1, 5-2-3. Those are the remainder of the winning numbers from our Airborne Speedway 50-50 raffle. In just a moment, we'll be going trackside to
The car. He slammed the wall coming off of turn 4, but held off Bill Joyle for the victory. He's out of his car. Let's get a nice round of applause for Kurt LaGrave Jr. Well, Kurt, you able to seal up the victory tonight? But tell me, coming off of the 4th turn, did you know Bill Joyle was right there?
Oh, yeah, I did. I heard him coming, but my old man put a lot of work in this, and I just want to thank him, Kevin Farr, my Uncle Mike, and my crew chief, Steven. Thank you.
Well, congratulations, and hopefully more wins to come.
Yes.
Rick, back up to you for the final time.